I'm a big fan of producers from that generation because they were able to do so much with so little.
What's good? Welcome to QNW. This is Quarantine Network. My name is OG. I got my boys. I got Charlie Pockets, Mirage Beats, and our special guest, King Vir2ue, in the building.
What's up?
Man, what's going on with you, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. Another day at the office.
Another day in the office. So
I'm in my studio right now.
Yeah, I already know, man. That's Mr. Tik Tok, man. Like, what's the day in the office like to you, man? Like, or every day, like, can you tell people like what's the day in the office like to you?
Working 9 to 5, like most people do. That's on the come up. But in terms of my music career, I'm always working on several projects at a time.
Right.
So right now I'm actually in a place where I'm actually just cooking up just to have some stuff ready. Because most of the projects that I'm working on, I've already completed the beats for, and I'm waiting on the artists to send me back their verses or what they got so far, so we can continue to collaborate on either single, EP, or full length project.
Nice.
So, so Vir2ue, are you someone who, do you like having stuff? Do you like to stay ahead like that, where you keep stuff in the queue that's like, you know what I mean? Do you like having that little cushion of like content or music or whatever that you're ready to put out? You know, is that how you usually like to keep it, like operate?
Definitely. So I would say I'm always trying to be creative and continue getting better every time I produce. But what I do is, so similar to like a lot of producers, you know, I used to rap a long time ago. And and I used to battle. And anybody that considers himself a real MC always has a 16 ready to go at any moment, right?
Right. No, that's true.
At a minimum of a 16, if not, several. So for me as a producer, if I get a call from somebody that I really want to work with, God willing, if they ask for a beat, I can't just send them one beat, right? Because I might send them 2 beats and those 2 just isn't what they're looking for. But if I send them 10 beats, there's a good chance out of those 10, they're going to like 1 or 2.
Send them a whole pack.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to have, I got my little folder, my little battle folder, just in case, somebody wants to battle with beats. I got a little folder for that. I also put together beats as I'm making them for certain artists that I have in mind when I make them. And I'll put it aside, even though we might not be working on something currently, I'll have it in the tuck. So when they say, hey, I want to work, hey, look, I already got 3 or 4 beats ready to go for you.
No, that's smart, man. It's important to be organized, try and stay ahead of the game a little bit, like, or at least, simplify your processes to where, like you said, you got something ready to go for certain people, certain situations. That's really smart. I like that.
Yeah.
So Vir2ue, first of all, I'm glad you accepted to be here with us. People don't know like the stuff that you do on the background, behind the scenes. And I want to thank you for all the knowledge that you shared with me when you found out that I was stressed about the splice stuff.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for that, and
no problem.
And all the work you have been putting out there is really inspiring. Bring the boom bap back. I've been listening a lot of producers, and when it comes to boom bap, even if we don't know that the beat came from you, we know you had your hands on that beat.
Thank you.
That's we all, as a producer or a beat maker, we all can make like a boom bap, but the feeling, the smoothness on the beat, we know that comes from you, and that have been an inspiration not only for me but other new young cats that I'm dealing with here in France, I actually send them like, oh, you're gonna listen to King Vir2ue, you're gonna listen to just Dino, producers that I know that they can be inspiring in their careers. How you feel about that, having young cats like looking up to your work and saying, hey, I like what he does, I want to learn more.
Thank you. No, I appreciate all the praise. That means a lot. It's interesting that you did bring that up because it's great that you recognize that, because it's very intentional that when I do make a beat, I try to make each one different. So if you listen to 10 King Vir2ue tracks in a row, they all have a different feel. But to your point, you know that I made them, right? So whether it's the structure of the song or the feel of the song, but there's something about it that illustrates that I had my hand in making the beat. Not as something as obvious as maybe like Swiss Beats or Pharrell, where they use certain drums or certain sound effects where you immediately recognize
signature. Signature sound.
So I don't have a signature sound per se in terms of instruments, but I'd like to think that I do have a certain signature sound when it comes to my production style. And a lot has to do with the working relationship that I have with True Words, where we've crafted a lot of great music together by him being an elite MC and forcing me to push my skill set as a producer, and him basically almost exclusively working with me over the past year. But in terms of your statement about other people looking to me, I mean, it's obviously very flattering. Every producer and or rapper or artist has somebody that they look to as inspiration for me. There's a host of them, but probably one of my biggest inspirations is Pete Rock. I think he's just absolutely incredible. And I'm a big fan of producers from that generation because they were able to do so much with so little, right? So with an 8-second loop, they could make a classic record like They Reminisce Over You, like things that they were able to do that still resonate today with such little equipment and such creativity in how they created the sounds and how they were able to record. And we just we're spoiled at this point with the tools that we have in our hands. And, you know, whether it's the loops or samples or, you know, BPMs being given to you, like they had to figure all that stuff out themselves, which I think made them better producers in the end. So for me, I literally, not to sound cliche, try to get better every time that I sit down and I make a beat. And I know we'll probably talk about this later, but that's one of my disciplines with doing the Friday Feeling every Friday, where I put out a beat for someone to do a duet to. I do that no matter what is going on, career-wise, project-wise. Every Friday, if you look on my TikTok and Instagram at this point, because I bring it over there, I would say almost for like a year straight now, every Friday, I haven't missed a Friday yet, I put up at least one beat for someone to duet to. And those beats some of them have actually been converted into actual songs, but most of the time, if you look at them, they're formatted specifically just for somebody to spit a 16 to. But that often creates some inspiration to turn it into an actual song for an artist.
I like how you stay consistent on TikTok, and there's still a lot of artists out there who are like indifferent about TikTok. What do you when an artist tell you they're not too sure about TikTok, whatever, you know, what do you tell them?
No, so that's a great question. So it's funny that you say that because I was apprehensive, like most people, particularly in my age bracket. But the funny thing is, almost every single person that I know that have done a duet of mine on TikTok, they all started out with, man, I'm not getting on TikTok. And I had to explain to them the reason why I did it. It actually was not to try to become viral or even for promotional purposes. It was actually literally for the tool of duet. And at the moment, there was no remix reels or anything on Instagram. The only place that you could do that was on TikTok.
Yeah.
So because that was the only platform that had that tool, I was like, well, I'm going to get on there because I started seeing some people, particularly on the gram and kind of floating around, that were putting up beats and then people were basically rapping to them. And I'm like, well, I want to showcase my skills. And I love to hear people rap over my stuff. So I'm like, if I could put it on TikTok and, you know, some people enjoy it and then they actually want to spit 16 and it's dope, then I can just repost it and put it on my IG. So most of the people, particularly in Go Squad and other people that have done the duets, they all started out with, I don't know how to do this. I gotta download the app. How do I record? How do I get the audio to sync up? All that stuff I had to walk them through. Now they're all, you know, experts at it. But during that time period, I came to understand that it's an amazing tool. And if you don't want to be an old head and stuck in the old times, you have to get with the times. And I think it's already projected, if it's not there yet, that TikTok is going to surpass Facebook and IG combined. If it's not already there, it's like within the next couple of years or something like that. So if you want to get yourself out there, why not use every tool at your disposal? It's free, right? So why not? I mean, yeah, you can go on there and see a whole bunch of dumb stuff.
They now have a stream service, a music stream service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it actually called TikTok, or is it a different name? Or
is it a different name?
Yeah, it's a different name.
Let me check. But so it's like it's free for on the first year, and on the second year they're gonna have a commission on your profit.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. Hey, you taught me something new. But yeah, I literally I'm just with it because it makes sense to further your craft. You want people to hear your beats. I've met and discovered several people that I'm either in the process of working with or have plans to work with because they actually found one of my beats and did a duet to it. And then I liked it and reached out to them and we started talking and now we have a working relationship. So, and then, you know, if you know anything about duets, you know, you can only do up to a minute. So it's only 60 seconds. So to be able to meet another artist from just putting a minute clip of a beat up there and build a working relationship. I mean, I got a guy that I work with, excuse me, that is out in Compton, LA. I've met someone from Chicago, all these different artists, and they're really awesome. And I would have never found them, heard of them, or even know that they existed had they not found my beat, done a duet, tagged me, and then we started talking. So it's been a wonderful experience for myself, and it's given a lot of them exposure. A lot of people that have done duets with myself have told me that they've been discovered and found by other artists, labels, so on and so forth, from those duets. So it's been a great experience overall. So I think everyone should just embrace it. I use it just for that and occasionally for promotional purposes if I'm dropping a song. But for the majority of what I do, it's basically just for duets. So I'm actually a fan of what it can do for an artist.
I like that.
Yeah, man. Like even you know, however you feel about TikTok, you know, or if you're concerned about like security issue, like at the end of the day, like you said, it's another tool, and it's you know, it's a whole other market. You know, it's slightly different demographic, but you know, yeah, why not optimize? You know, why not take advantage of that? You know, and it's not just exposure for you as a producer, or you know, when you do the duet, you know, it's, you know, they can see your Instagram. They can, you know, you just get extra exposure to your other, you know, social media links and stuff like that, and just it's a win-win for everybody. You know?
Definitely. I feel like one thing I do, well, of course you touched on it, but I do admire your consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's very difficult to stay consistent with something or to acquire that discipline. So like, what's the word I forgot the word I was thinking about. Like, how, you know, you got a strict schedule you stick by, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you're also a family man. You know.
Yeah. So I do. Or I try to adhere to it. So at a minimum, every Friday, no matter what's going on in my life, I try to find a way to make sure I at least get the Friday feeling done for the duet that I put up there. And so far I've been successful no matter what's going on in my life. Fortunately, because it is only a minute, and the way I structure it's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. And with those, I actually don't pre-make them at all. It's literally that day. So that day, whatever you hear is what I came up with that day. In terms of like my work schedule, so I work Monday Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm off Thursday, Friday, and then I work Saturday and I'm off Sunday. So I work 4 10-hour shifts. So I have 3 days off, which is fantastic for somebody that is an artist. So what I tend to do is, at a minimum, on Thursday will be my creative day, where I'll try to sit down and any type of what I call my admin work. I'll sit down and either if I have to send out some stems or, you know, contact an artist about a certain song that we're working on a project, or just sit down and see what I can come up with, or if I'm inspired. Some days I got nothing, you know, just like a writer, I got just the black. I can't. And other times it just, you know, I might get 5 or 6 beats done in the day. But I typically, the days that I work my 9 to 5, I do not, unless I really just feel this spark of creativity, don't create during that time. So it's during those 3 days that I'm off is when I do the bulk of my actual creating of music, except for when I do, if any of you guys have seen or know of what I call my 30 for 30, where I do 30 beats in 30 days. Okay. So that's a different beast altogether. It drives my fiance crazy because I'm a maniac during that time period. Because
you've been on live for some of that, right? The 30 for 30.
Yeah, so I usually go live. I go live on the last day, and that's when I do.
I remember seeing it before a couple times.
Yeah.
It's dope. It's dope.
It's tough because the rules that I set for myself, because I created it. I mean, I've seen other producers, not saying that they copy me. They may have been doing it before or whatever, but I do see other people do similar things. But it started with 7 days of boom bap. So I did 7 days of boom bap. I was like, I'm going to go for a week straight. I'm going to create a new beat each day and just see if I can do that. Almost like a challenge to myself. And the rule is I can't have anything pre-made. It's got to be that day. So day one is the day I create that beat. No matter what happens, I'm going to stick with it and I'm going to post it. And it is what it is, however it comes out. So I did the first 7 days of boom bap, and I kind of enjoyed the challenge. And I got a couple of beats out of that were pretty dope. That ended up becoming songs later. I don't remember specifically which ones, but some dope ones. So then I was like, well, I'm going to do 7 days of R&B. And then I was like, well, I did 14, 7 days R&B. Well, let's go another 7 days. So then I did another 7 of trap. So at this point, I did 21, which was almost a month. So I did 21 days straight of making beats. So then it just dawned on me. I'm like, you know what? Next time I'm going to go 30 beats in 30 days. So I've done 3 of them. I call them seasons. I've done 3 seasons of that, where I start on the first of the month. And each day, by the time the day is over, it might be 8 or 9 o'clock, but I'll have a beat that I created and post it up there. So by the time the month is over, I'll have 30. And usually on the last day, I'll do a little something special. I'll go live and maybe I'll have 4 or 5 or something like that. Like the first one I did 5, where I took 5 different samples and I flipped them. And then I went live to premiere them and all that stuff, trying to make it a little bit exciting. I don't go live often. So when I do, I want it to be with purpose. But yeah, so when I do that, that's a pretty strict schedule because I'm nuts, because I gotta work, kids, family, everything. So my day starts at 7 in the morning. So there have been days where I've gotten up at 5 to create the beat so that when I come home, I have enough time to record it and do the video and do all that stuff. And then other times I don't have enough time. And when I get home, it might be 6:30, 7 o'clock. I still got to eat. I still got to shower. Still got to sit down, create the beat, post it. And that's 30 days in a row of that. And again, every day I have no idea that's the whole point. I don't pre-make them. I don't make 5 ahead. I wake up that day and it's whatever God puts in me to creatively put out into the world. So it's been exciting to do that, because sometimes I make some really great stuff. Some stuff I'm like, I know it was all right. And I don't expect to make 30 fire beats in 30 days. I don't think any artist really does that.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do.
Yeah, but the challenge of it is what keeps me consistent. And it gives people that are following me, even if you want to call them fans, they know when I'm in that season that every day they're going to get a new beat, and I always like to switch it up. I always throw a house beat in there out of nowhere. You never know what day that's going to come.
Yeah, you never know what to expect with you, because you definitely switch it up a lot, and you got a wide palette as far as your musical,
Yeah.
and I like that. I think that's that's good. As a producer, you know what I mean? You know, you want someone like that. You know what I mean? You want someone who can, you know, with a wide range, you know, like that. That's good.
As a producer, he goes with the he goes with the mood, with the flow. Like sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I'm like, I'm sleeping and I wake up with this beat in my head, and I needed to put it on the table. So I just like, I came here and I do what I have to do, and then I go back to sleep. But sometimes I'm here and I want to do, like, let's say a boom bap beat. And at the end, I like the melody, and I'm like, this melody can be a dance track. So I flip it. I'm going to flip it everything, make a new beat, and use that melody for a different stuff.
Absolutely.
It goes with sometimes we are so focused on make something and being creative, and at the end is nothing compared to what we said we're going to do in the beginning.
That's very true. That's very true. There's been plenty of times where I sat down and said, I'm going to make a boom bap beat. By the time I'm done, it's an R&B beat or a house beat or something like that.
Club hit.
Totally different direction in that search to try to chase that boom bap beat. And I hear a melody or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, I could do this. And now all of a sudden the BPMs are totally different. I'm adding a different bass line and all that. So you're 100% correct when it comes to that. I mean, I may start out one way, but by the time it's done, it's amazing how you think it's going to be one thing and then it ends up being something completely different when it's all said and done.
I like that. So let's talk about the Ghost Squad, man. So do you consider yourself like the head producer of the Ghost Squad, or, you know?
Yeah. I'm actually the only producer in Ghost Squad, but not all the beats. Not all the beats that come out of Ghost Squad are my beats. So we're trying to get the most of the members that are in Ghost Squad to shy away from using leased beats. And it's nothing against personally BeatStars, because I understand the hustle and the grind, and I get people that use them, and I get artists that sell their beats on there. I get that entire dynamic. But there's so many different limitations and things around that can really jam you up as an artist. So it's a twofold answer. But so first off, everything that QNW has come out with, except for the last two True Words, that's True Words, by the way, except for 2 songs in the past year I've produced. And I'm wearing the shirt right now, like Royal Blood, right? So he was fortunate enough to
That's a dope shirt.
Thank you. I do sell merch. So I came up with the idea of I'm a big, I'm 41, about to be 42. So I grew up with actual vinyl, right? And I was really big on the artwork and covers of albums.
Damn,
so,
let me interrupt you real quick. Yo, you look good for your age, bro. I did not think you were, you know what I mean? I would not have guessed that. So
thank you. No, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. I'll be 42.
I know it's random. I just had to say it though.
Yeah, no, I'll be 42 in June. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to be, pretty health conscious.
It's important.
But yeah, I came up with the idea for the shirt. I was like, well, we do cover art for all of our singles. So I was like, well, I have yet seen that, right? Everyone has merch nowadays. So I wanted to be a little bit different and a little bit of self-indulgent. So I said, I'm going to take the cover art from the singles that I do and put them on shirts. So it's been pretty cool. And, I can showcase, someone say, what's that? Oh, it's actually my song. And then that's dope cover art. But yeah, so the deal that I have, which is what I want to explain as their producer. So my business model is completely different than anyone that I know of. So I don't sell my beats, which that's the first thing that everyone's like, what do you mean? So I don't use BeatStars. Again, no disrespect to them or anyone that uses them. Every song that I've produced, that I've worked with the artist, I actually do a 50-50 split. Now, a lot of people are apprehensive about that because they're like, well, why am I going to give 50% of the record to the producer, right? Well, here's why. The reason why everyone has agreed that I haven't had one person that has said no to the prospect of doing business this way is because one, you still have your performance rights, right? So you still have, like, I'm only getting 50% of the streaming, and I'm getting 50% as a composer, right? But you still get your performance royalties. You still get your mechanicals. I'm only getting 50% of the streaming, but I also get 50% of the say-so on the record. And that's because I care about the production and I care about the final product. So I want to have my hands involved. And then I'm also going to promote it just as much as the artist that's rapping over it is going to as well. So they're not just getting my beat, where they're not paying for anything. So if you were to pay, just do simple mathematics, right? Let's say somebody says, okay, they lease a beat for $50. I know you can get them cheaper with, let's just say, a nice even number, $50. Right. You know how many streams you'd have to stream to get that $50 back for that beat that you need?
Exactly.
A ridiculous amount, right? Like, we all know that. So that's just to break even on what you spent to lease the beat, right? That's not talking about any profit. That's just for you to make even on what you spent to lease the beat. Second part of that is you don't own the beat. You lease the beat, which means there could be little Percocet out there, little Johnny rapping over the same beat. Yeah. And you can't use your YouTube content ID. Right? So here's where it gets crazy.
Interesting.
If me and True have a song, which we do, and this has happened, we have a song, it's original, I created it, 50-50, blah, blah, blah. We have YouTube content ID, we upload it, and then somebody in Russia plays on YouTube our song. We actually get money from that. We actually had, there was an instance where it wasn't actually my beat, but it was a beat that True actually had, which he actually owned. And a kid was playing PlayStation, and it was recorded on Twitch in Russia. And he had, you know how Spotify can be connected to your PS5? And somehow his song came on the playlist because he ended up seeing money that came from it, and he followed the trail and then ended up finding this kid. So this is all to go to show that you would never have known that had he not had the YouTube content ID on there. And that's the problem with the leased beats, is that you don't own them. The original artist that composed it does. So not only do you have multiple people out there that could be rapping over the same exact beat that you leased, but you're also cutting yourself short on the money that you could be getting. So if you can find someone like myself that's willing to do a 50-50 split, you are now a full 50% owner of the beat. Do you see what I'm saying? So like the possibility is that if it gets picked up in a movie or on Netflix 10 years from now, you'll now see the benefit of that. If it's a leased beat, you will not. So everybody who says, oh, I got it for $15, just remember, you're not thinking of the long game. You're thinking of the short game. And the short game, even if the song does decent on Spotify and other streaming services, I guarantee you're barely even going to break even. And that's just stuff that people don't consider.
So I was laughing because everybody said that I'm crazy. Everybody around me, they say, oh, you're crazy. You should have your beats on BeatStars and selling your beats. And I'm like, no,
not necessarily.
No, because like I think like you, like every beat has a meaning, has a purpose for a song.
Yes.
So and it's true. I can sell beats and people can buy, like 50 people can actually buy the same beat.
Yeah.
But what's the purpose to have 50 people dropping bars on a beat with different meanings, different feelings, different emotions?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I care about all the stuff I do, and about the 50-50, like you said. I'm like, I was laughing because my mind was on that state. Like I was wanted to work with people like that. And every time I said to somebody like, let's just make the song and split it 50-50, people got, oh, what's the hashtag on that? And I'm like, there's no hashtag. I'm gonna send you the split sheets. We're gonna write the split sheets and drop it. Easy.
Yep.
There's no money involved. Just let's make the music. And people gets like, there's something that I have on the back. I don't have nothing on the back. I only have the beat and the production.
Yeah, they think there's some type of catch to it, or there's some type of loophole, and that's I think the downside of what BeatStars has created. I'm a big like you were saying, Mo. Like I want it to be a one of one. I want you to know if you work with King Vir2ue, you're not going to hear that beat anywhere else on planet Earth. Just like if it was a piece of art and it was being drawn, every great artist out there, they're numbered, right? You know, you got number 2 of 25 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I want it to be a one of one. And when I don't charge, it's because I want to have a say so in it, right? I want to be involved in the final product because I hate. It's my baby, right? The musical part, right? The beat part, and then if you're doing the rhyming part, that's your baby. I want it to come out amazing where people are like, yo, that joint is fire. Not, oh, that Vir2ue beat is fire, but the guy rapping over it is trash. I never want that to happen. So then that also allows me to be selective on who I work with.
Right. Yeah, selectivity.
Definitely.
QNW audio podcast available on Anchor. Follow us at We Are QNW.
So we were talking about, different producer styles, and in my opinion, just from like working with artists, knowing some producers, some good quality producers, and some amazing artists, I feel like as an independent artist, I feel like you should be trying to find a producer in your area. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's a friend of yours. I don't care if it's someone that's within an hour of your location. If you can develop and establish a relationship just establish that relationship with someone close to you. Like as an artist, I feel like that's your best bet if you yourself aren't producing all your songs, because it's one thing to write a song, write the lyrics, write hooks and do all that and perform it and spit the bars and you know what I mean? But to make that and, engineer it and mess with the EQ and this and that, it's a lot to do for one person. So I feel like as an artist, like you should be looking for that one producer. I'm not saying you have to exclusively work with the same person, but if you can find one person in your area that you can work with, that you trust, you build up a relationship, you have a good rapport, you guys get along for the most part, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys think? Like, don't you think that's valuable as an artist to have like that go-to guy that you can really vibe with? Like, what do you guys think on that?
I think that you can build a relationship with a producer or with an artist. It doesn't mean that it needs to be the guy next door. Like King Vir2ue has the example on the Smack track.
Yeah.
Smack track was made like from New York to Florida. So they are not on the next door. As long as you can build a relationship, look at us. QNW. We build a relationship, and we are hosting the show.
No, that's I hear what you're saying. Like it's true. Like the person doesn't necessarily need to be in your city, but if you're an artist and you can find somebody in your city that you're friends with, you're cool with, you guys vibe, you get along, you guys, you know what I mean? It's like you said, you don't necessarily have to be in the same city, but if you can find someone in the same city where you can be in the same room with that person, like I feel like it would be more ideal. And honestly, if you're in any major city or anywhere in the US, like you should be able to find people around you, whether you're a producer or an artist, like you should be able to find the people around you in your circle that are in your area. You should be able to find that person. But like I said, that doesn't mean you exclusively, have to work with someone that's close to you. Like it can be done regardless, especially nowadays. But I don't know. What do y'all think on that, Vir2ue and Zoe? I appreciate your input, Mo. That's a good point.
For me, the beauty of and I know that's an oxymoron, or paradox. The beauty of the quarantine was that, I mean, during that time is when I actually became friends with True Words, and we built a creative working relationship. But I was producing for my cousin before then. But all of the members except for one of Goat Squad are all in different areas. And I was able to build a really strong working relationship, particularly with True, and understanding what he's looking for, almost as if he's in the room, because of the wonderful world of technology between FaceTime and IG. Right. We'll actually workshop a beat like we're talking right now. I'll literally pull up and I'll start with drums, and we'll work from the beginning to the end and create a beat together as if he was in the room right next to me. So, and he's in Jersey. I'm in Virginia. I'm originally from Long Island, so I still have friends and family that are in the area. But technology has allowed us to have that same type of vibe. But we joke all the time. We actually just had this conversation yesterday. We were just saying how, imagine you actually live near me. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the great material we've created now. Imagine you could just come over and we could just start cooking in the studio. So there is something to that. I do believe in the organic chemistry of being in the same room and creating. But there are ways around it. But I do agree with you that there's organic is always best. And if you know the person that you're creating the music with, that's when you're going to get the best possible product.
Yeah, it's such a because it just puts y'all in a better, you're in a more comfortable space. You have that level of, but I like that you said that, because that's interesting to me, because like you guys make strong points that, like, you're right, you don't have to be in the same location, the same city, same state, the same country. You can get it done regardless, but like you said, it's something different too, though, when you're in the same room with somebody. It's different.
It's a little bit easier. It's completely different. But when both people are feeling the same, like you need to feel the same vibe. If people are on the same vibe, it doesn't matter if you are on the same room or in distance.
That's true. Yeah. Technology brings people together.
Like myself, I don't. The mentality here in France doesn't allow me to work how I want to work. That's why I started to check lives on IG outside Europe. And that's when I met Keys, I met Zoe, I met y'all.
That's how you found that's how you found all of us, right?
And that's how I felt like,
you gotta be thankful.
Why I'm wasting my time trying to do something here in Europe when people don't believe in me and don't give me the chance to prove myself, So I reached out. The first time I reached out to Zoe, I sent him an email, and I was like, "Hey, we were listening to your tracks, and my son is still waiting on that postcard, Zoe. My son, he loves postcards." And
wait, which son, yo? Is that baby Brian?
No, Ruben.
Shout out to Hoven, yo.
My oldest son, he collects postcards, and he was, "Hey, can you ask Zoe if he can send me a postcard from Texas?" I was like, I can
I'm gonna send him 3 postcards, yo. One from Maryland, one for DC, one for Virginia.
and we started to talk like that, because of a postcard. He was listening to my son was listening Preacher's Wife, and we actually recorded the video and sent to Zoe so he can see my son's vibing with the song. And
it's crazy, bro.
And we started to talk about that. So the mentality is completely different. So sometimes the best way is actually connect with people with the all the social medias that we have today. It's easier.
Yeah. It was just
people will never link with me here in Europe saying, "Hey, bro, I can help you with Splice like King did." People are gonna say to me, "Hey, I can give you like a call, a $50 call, and we can discuss, and I can teach you that."
Yeah. Yo, I just want to, for the record, I just want to say, like, I'm in no way like I'm in no way like hating on like, you know, the collaboration that you can do nowadays over the internet with people in different states, cities, countries, all that. You know, I'm not downplaying that at all. Like I recognize the value in that. Like that's how I've met so many people, you know what I mean, that I haven't met in person yet, but you know what I mean? I've established friendships and relationships and business relationships and, you know, amazing relationships with people that I haven't met them all in person yet, but you know, thanks to the IG and the internet and YouTube and everything, you know, it's but yeah, I was just touching
internet,
on,
bro.
you know, that you know, it's cool that technology has brought us a lot of us, you know, closer together and all that, but at the same time, I was kind of just pointing out the value of being able to be front and center, face to face with somebody, you know, sitting in the studio, two friends having a good time, chopping it up, making a song, making a hit. You know, that's the value in that. I think is amazing too. So you know, there's value to both. It's just I just wanted to see the different perspective, which you guys gave me great perspective on the different aspects of it.
Even if you want to be on the same room with somebody, first you need to build a relationship.
Right.
Yeah. If you don't build that relationship, doesn't matter if you go to the studio with that person, because one's gonna start thinking, oh, he wants to know what I can do. Maybe he's gonna steal my beat. Right? Or the other was going to say, oh, maybe he's going to listen my bars and that's going to give him some ideas. He's going to flip the words and somebody's going to record it.
Right.
So if you don't have a relationship, if you don't build a relationship between artists, producers, beat makers, whatever, you're going to waste your time in studio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like it's time to get into that segment.
we got to hit the bread and butter, yo, because we in the groove right now.
Before the bread and butter, I want to show you guys something that maybe the audience don't know. So the other day I was watching Loretta's Only live, and he was on live with Your Truly is the poet.
Yeah,
amazing artist. And my son is actually was listened to his songs, and he said, "Pops, you know my English is not on top, but I felt every word. I felt the passion that he got on the mic." And I was like, "Where did you listen? Your Truly is the poet." And my son, he showed me this. Oh, we cannot see because of the background. So I just downloaded the Goat Squad app.
Nice.
There's a Goat Squad app?
Yes, sir.
Yo, the Goat Squad doing big
congrats
things.
on
Shout out to the Goat Squad. Shout out V2ue. Shout out Tricky Hayes, Loretta's Only. Right. Yo, I didn't know y'all had an app out.
Yeah, we do.
So soon. Yo, shout out to Goat Squad.
Thank you.
Baller Brown, Linked.
Yeah.
Yo, congrats on that, bro. App. I was amazed with this.
Yo, I just made a note. Yo, I made a note. I'm gonna get that app.
Actually,
I gotta support the Ghost Squad, yo, because I got too many friends, too many talented people in there.
It's free. It's on both platforms. It's actually DJ Unbreakable is she's actually part of Ghost Squad. She's very quiet. She has a couple songs that are actually pretty big, but she's not as active of an artist. And so because of that, she wanted to contribute in her own way for the movement. Like she's down for the cause. So she kind of secretly started putting this together and kind of came to me and True was like, "Hey, I'm going to work on getting an app. Would you be down?" We're like, "Of course we would."
Wow.
So she went through the whole process and got it going. And there's still some little kinks and bugs and things that we're working on to make it better. But it's awesome. It's a place for if you know the Ghost Squad name, if you have the app, we do push notifications. So if there's a pre-save for a new song that's coming out, you'll get an alert for it. There's a link to each one of our pages on our websites, which then of course can lead to our merchandise. You can purchase songs. You have Regular Cat Radio, who has his 24/7 hip hop radio station. So yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, it's a slow burn, obviously. There's main on one apps, but yeah, we actually have our own app. You know, when we told people about it, they were like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's dope." And to your point, real quick, yours truly is actually, I live in Virginia and he lives about 15 minutes from me. And I got him into the Ghost Squad because me and him had worked together in our 9 to 5. And when I really started pursuing production and really started, putting together what is now known as Ghost Squad, which, True started from Patreon and then it branched off into what it is now. And other members started bringing them in. So I brought in yours truly because I had actually worked with him before, and he'll come through and we'll build in the studio right here. So to your point, there's definitely something to that. Like, he was just here 2 weeks ago. We sat down, went through some beats, trying to find some stuff to work on. So Soon is actually my cousin, my blood cousin. Like
nice.
My actual relative cousin. Yeah. So I literally, the first rhyme he ever spit was, he used to come, he lived in Queens. I lived in Long Island. He would come to my house every summer and spend the summer at my house. So when he was like 12, he spit his first rhyme to me. So I've been literally part of his journey this entire time. But yes, we do have an app, and yours truly is fantastic. And when I brought him in to the Ghost Squad, he has such a, and when I say brought him in, I mean just introduced him to everyone. His skill set forced everyone to step their game up to another level because he's so good of a technician of a rapper that he can sing, he can rap fast, he can rap slow. He has an amazing storytelling ability, and his voice is awesome as well. So he kind of checks all the boxes when it comes to being an artist. And he's really passionate when it comes to his music, as you can tell. You can feel the pain in his voice. You can feel he means every word that he says when he says it. So he's one of those special artists that I had the privilege of working with a lot. And hopefully we'll have an EP. We have a couple of songs in the works right now, but hopefully we'll have an EP sooner than we think. So
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's definitely gonna happen. Man,
let's get into this bread and butter.
So we got this segment called Bread and Butter, big player.
All right.
So V2ue, if you could produce a song for 3 artists, dead or alive, who would they be?
All right. Give me a couple of questions I wasn't prepared for. Cool. All right. Well, first person would be Big Pun.
Hey, I like that one. That's a good selection.
So a lot of people
rest in peace, Big Pun. Yo, shout out Big Pun. Rest in peace.
He's my favorite rapper of all time. A lot of people actually think that I'm actually Puerto Rican. I'm not. I'm actually black and white. So people just happen to assume that I am. Also because he's my favorite rapper and he happened to be Puerto Rican. But he's like my gamer tag is Pun Attack, because when he was starting it's Pun Attack 73, and that's what me and my friends used to call it when he would go off and say that in the middle of like, yo, he's about to have a pun attack, you know what I'm saying, and just go off. So he was my favorite rapper.
Terror Squad, yo, you bring me back to high school and middle school and shit.
Yeah, people always joke. They say that Fat Joe found Big Pun's rhyme book after he died, but yeah, man,
he gave him the blueprint. For sure.
So that's number one. Number two would be Mos Def, or now Yasin Bey, excuse me. He's one of my favorite. Just his voice and the way he puts words together, is absolutely incredible. And then number three, believe it or not, is Black Thought.
That'd be one hell of a track.
Yeah. So
right.
A lot of people
this is one of the best answers we've had so far on this question, yo. I really like this answer, dude.
So Big Pun, Yasin Bey, and Black Thought, produced by King Vir2ue. Ooh, who will go first? Who will go? Who will go first?
I can pack it in after that. If I was able to do that, I could pack it in and say, all right, cool. And I still could get 2/3.
Peacefully.
Who will go first on that track?
2/3. So. And a lot of people don't know that Black Thought was one of Big Pun's favorite rappers. And a lot of people don't realize
I didn't know that.
Black Thought was actually on Capital Punishment, Big Pun's first album. People forget that too.
Yeah, Black Thought's been rapping for a very, very long time.
Yeah, so Big Pun, he was a student of the game, but he was one of the first, I don't even want to call him a commercial rapper, but one of the mainstream rappers to bring in Black Thought, just not the roots, but Black Thought as a rapper. And it's on his debut album, Capital Punishment. He's going back and forth with Black Thought. So you already know this dude, one, he recognized his skill, but the fact that he did that and held his own, you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, I was like, this is crazy. And I've seen the Roots perform at least 5 or 6 times in my lifetime. And Black Thought is always incredible. So.
Right, that's right. So second question is, if you could produce a song for a movie, a TV show, or a game, what would it be, or what type would it be?
Oh shit, that's a good question.
I mean, I can answer that a bunch of different ways because, to be honest with you, and we would talk for hours if I got into this. But at one point, I was a jungle MC. So if you're familiar with drum and bass music,
yes.
All right. So I was a rock MC. So this was in the height of 98, 99, 2000, 2001 in New York City, where there was a club called Limelight, Sound Factory, Tunnel, all these like clubs owned by Peter Kitchen. It was like the height of
little rave spots. Yeah.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Exactly. So I got really, really involved in that scene because I was actually a performing artist at the time, which was awesome. I actually I went by MC V2ue, not King V2ue at that time.
Yo, V2ue, yo, we got a whole new connection. I feel like we closer now, yo. And we're about to dive into this conversation, yo. I feel like go ahead.
But so I guess I'll speed up and say I would actually want to create a house track that was in a movie that involved some type of like party scene where something crazy is going on in the background. You know, the music that's pumping when they're walking in through the club.
Yeah.
Like the entry on Blade Runner when they are in the nightclub.
No, you're thinking of Blade, not Blade Runner.
Blade. Yeah.
Oh, Blade.
And if you've ever heard on the Blade 3 soundtrack, the Mos Def track on there, it's crazy. Go check it out. Mos Def. It's from Blade Trinity. I forget what it's called. I want to say it's called Flesh of My Flesh. Flesh of My flesh, blood of my blood. Anyway, Mos Def went crazy on it. And it's like a techno type beat. But yes, exactly. That's one of my favorite scenes ever. You know, that initial Blade scene and everybody's going crazy and all of a sudden the blood starts coming. Everybody's going nuts. Yeah. So I want a song that I produce like that to be in a movie like that. And then of course, I mean, everyone knows the famous scene from Belly, the opening scene. So I'd love to have that type of moment of an urban legend movie where, you know, one of my songs is playing that intros a movie, like the opening scene of Belly when they go in the rock the tunnel and with Nas and DMX and all that. So I don't know if there's a specific show per se, but yeah, I mean, I would want something to be, you know, monumental and memorable like that. But I would actually care more to have an amazing house song in a movie than actual hip hop song.
Okay. Yo,
that's dope
that you, I got a whole level of respect for King V2ue now.
Ain't no wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Man,
appreciate it.
Man, first of all, I want to say V2ue, thank you so much for your time, man. Because it's been a while since we chopped it up, and it's good to catch you, you know, on a good day, you know, good Sunday like it is, you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it for real. I appreciate you accommodating my time schedule, man. Sorry about the other days.
No, it's fine, bro.
No, listen, this whole thing was fun, man. You know, we professional here too, but like I had a lot of fun with this episode too. We had some good conversation. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
What's your one final question? What's your advice for the new cats? People who want to be beat makers or producers.
That's a good question.
So it's a super long answer, but I will shorten it really quickly. I would say one, think of the long game, not the short game.
I like that.
That's the first step. Two, use everything at your disposal. So we're fortunate enough. People have the argument all day long about should you use loops, should you not use loops, should you sample, not sample, MPC, hardware, Mac, Android, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean
Logic.
Yeah, I don't care what you use. It doesn't mean that you're going to be good at it.
Right.
Right. And they proved that again in the 80s and 90s when they didn't have what
they didn't have all that. Yeah.
What we have in our phones is more powerful than what they used to send the first spaceship to the moon, if you believe
it.
Right?
That's facts.
So I hate to hear when people like, oh, I just got to get that, $5,000 MPC player and I'll be the next Kanye or whatever. It's like, no, it's what you have in your head and your heart and creativity. So use whatever's at your disposal. I actually am somewhat mentoring this guy that lives in India. He hit me up in my DM and he was like, Vir2ue, I really love your music. Right now I'm making beats on my phone. So he'll send me his beats he's making on his phone and he's saving up so that he can buy a laptop so he can start making music. So like I'll give him
I've heard that story before, yo. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
so like I'll give him
respect to you for helping him out, yo, because it's amazing how you can just get somebody from across the world that you don't even know and they're willing to help you out. You know what I mean? Give you some tips, pointers, help you out a little. That's
he was so happy I even responded. Yeah, and I know it wasn't a scam or anything.
I'm sure you made his day, yo. I'm sure you did.
Yeah. So, I mean, now he gets a little crazy where he sends me stuff like every other day. And I'm like, all right, but I was more than happy to do that. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, he's using what he has at his disposal to make because he loves music. So right now, all he has is his phone and his little program, and he's doing whatever he can. And he's saving money driving Uber so he can save to buy a laptop so he can start creating music. So that touched my heart because I'm like, I get that. He just wants to make music. So I would just say use whatever you have at your disposal. If you really want a piece of equipment, get it, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be a great producer. And then the last but not least, particularly as a beat maker and producer, if you're going to work with an artist, you need to understand that every artist is different. Now, because I work with Ghost Squad, everybody has a different personality. Some people write faster than others. Some people are harder to get a hold of. Some people take longer to. So that was a very hard lesson that I had to learn was that every artist is different and everyone has their own thing. And I need to respect that just because I'm on my time, I can't expect everyone else to be on my time. I need to respect them as an artist as well. And we need to find a common ground where we can make the best possible product together and compromise. And it can't always be what they say, and it can't always be what I say. It's got to be what we say.
Yo, real quick, that's big on you because not every producer, not every person is gonna feel the same way. But the way you're talking, like that's a good way to look at it, yo. It's a very empathic way to look at things, like being receptive to other people's, difference in schedule and availability and time and everything, yo. So just, your ability to recognize that, I think that's important, because that's what makes a good producer, someone that's willing to be able to adapt and adjust to different styles and different people and personalities. I like that you said that.
And to wrap it up, I know I don't want to go on for the rant, but to further that point, the album that I'm actually dropping with Baller Brown on June 2nd, I had to do a shameless plug. That album, Baller Brown, she's so incredible and so creative. But that album, which is 10 tracks, that took us almost a year to create. So that's a long time, you know what I'm saying? It not a long time, but it's a long time, you know what I'm saying? All things considered. And then you have, me and True have done 7 tracks in a few months. So not to say that she doesn't work as fast as him, but it's just 2 totally different vibes. Right?
Yeah.
So I work on her time. I gave her the creative space to say, okay, if you need more time to write the song, then take the time you need. We're not signed to a label. This is going to come out when it comes out, when it needs to come out. And we just want the best possible product.
Yo, listen, I'm the type of person that too is like, I'm very empathetic to other people's schedules and the time scales. Like everyone, you know what I mean? Like I get it. Like if you're business oriented, you're trying to move. Like you're probably on a faster frequency, but not everybody is able to operate on that same frequency.
Right.
So the being able to adapt to that, different people, like that's what's gonna come in handy for someone in this business, whether you're an artist, producer, beat maker, manager, agent, A&R, like you know what I mean, like just those people skills, being able to deal with different people, that's important.
Yeah, that was the biggest lesson for me. I'm dealing with so many different people and different artists is they're all different. They all got the different needs and wants, and so
we have to make a special episode with all the Gold Squad.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. No, that'd be super dope.
That would be dope. Yeah, that would be dope.
Definitely. Well, V2ue, bro, tell the people where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, of course. It's King V2ue everywhere, except on Twitter, which is the real King V2ue. But KingV2ue.com for everything that's to do with me, and then also the Ghost Squad app. But KingV2ue.com, you'll have I have my merch on there. Any new song I have coming out, you can pre-save it there. You can see all the stuff that I've done before. I also put a few different of my freestyle, my Friday feelings, some of my favorites, my duets that I throw up there as well. King V2ue on TikTok, of course. But yeah, just King V2ue, all one word.
Is that King V2ue? How is that spelled? Is that spelled normally or?
So it is spelled with a 2, and long story short, it was with a T. But come to find out, there was some group that exists, King V2ue with a T.
I saw that. Yeah.
So as soon as I found that out, I was like, I got to change my name immediately. But I really love the name King V2ue. It's near and dear to my heart. So I was like, what's the best way that I can change it, make it unique, and still keep it where it's pretty obvious what it is? And it literally just clicked. Change the T to a 2, and there you go. So I did it out of necessity, but now I actually love it. I feel that it definitely separates me, except when it comes to like Google or Alexa, you got to say V2ue, or it actually won't come up.
Hey, it is what it is, but let that be known. It's King V2ue spelled normally, but instead of the T in V2ue, it's a 2. So I just wanted to make that clear for everyone.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Definitely. So man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up episode 7 tonight, man. My name is Zoe G. You can definitely follow me on Instagram and TikTok at BodyBagZo, all one word. This is QNW. You follow QNW at We Are QNW across all social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, especially Mo Pockets. Tell the people where they can follow you at.
You can follow me. Go ahead. Every week is the same. Every week
just follow me on Instagram, charlie.pockets, spelled, Charlie with a LIE and then .pockets. And then go ahead, Mo.
You can follow me at Mo_Raise Beats with a Z at the end. Instagram, YouTube, everywhere.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Zoe G. So we just wrapped up the episode for King V2ue, episode 7. Next week, episode 8, we're gonna have hip-hop artists So Soon hopping in on QNW, so stay tuned. V2ue, you welcome you're more than welcome anytime on the podcast, man. We definitely gonna get you back on, man. So
I appreciate it. I'd love to continue to keep talking, man. I got stories for days. I can give you all types of funny anecdotes.
Next time is gonna be longer.
Yeah,
trust me.
Listen, we'll have the part 2. We'll have the after hours episode. We'll figure it all out, yo. We appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you sharing your insight. It was a great conversation, man. Have a great night, man.
Definitely.
Appreciate
Be
you.
safe, player.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Peace out, player.
Peace.
Peace.